Good morning, pardon. This is Laura. I just wanted to let you know that I'm, looking at your assignment and stuff. And I think that you can see my screen. And I just changed these two numbers to the corrected total. When we're doing this, you want to use the corrected total, okay? So just letting you know. Okay, so let's just read through this here that you've written about table 2. And the significant value of 0.021 with disabled, which is less than the value of 0.05, we have the significant main effect. And then you provide the F statistic. And about 13% of the variance in minutes a father played with their child can be explained by the variance in the disability. So that looks good. Actually, I think that we ran over this the last time that we met. So I'm going to just skip down a little bit farther. Let's just make sure that you have all the tables. I know that you were working on some of the tables when we last met. This univariate table, number 5, eventually will be replaced with another table in terms of how it looks. Let me see if you have done it. Okay, let me just show you the table how it should look when you're done. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing your screen, your assignment. I'm going to stop. I'm going to share something else. Okay. So now you look at this here. And so when you look at these numbers, this is my assignment, my table 3, which is going to be your table 5. And so when you look at these numbers, they're exactly the same that you have in your assignment, but it's just a little cleaner. So you should create a table like this so that all of the information is in one place, okay? And then you can write about it. And maybe you've already written about it. We'll look at it. So, but this right here is what you want your table to look like in the end, okay? So instead of having 2 tables, you'll have one, and you'll put both of them in the same table. And you're gonna have the source, the sums of squares, degrees of freedom, mean square, F, P, and the eta squared, which is at n squared. Okay? So let's go back to your assignment. So, so this right here, oops. So this table 5 and this table down here are my table 3. So you want to readjust it, and basically when you're looking at this, you want to take out the error. You only need to list the error once. So you'll take out this error and you'll take out this error, because notice both of those errors are the same exact as the error down here. So you only need to have them once in each table. So down here, the same thing. You'll take out this error here because you only have to list it once. And then you're going to combine these 2 tables into one. So then once you have those combined, then you're going to want to talk about them. Now, it doesn't appear that you have, that you've talked about them. So I'm just scrolling down to make sure. Okay, yeah, you have not talked about them. So let's go back to my assignment so that we can kind of see how we're going to talk about them, okay? Okay. My assignment, my assignment is down here. Just a second. I'm trying to get it up there. Let me make sure that I'm sharing the right screen with you. Okay. So when you look at this, this table 3, which is your table 5, we're looking at this. So up here, we're talking about gender at disabled. My mouse is going crazy. I'm so sorry. Sorry. We're talking about disabled at gender right here. And so if you look at disabled at gender down below, which is the top, the first part of here, you're gonna look and see what is really happening. Okay. So it says, in the interaction effects of disabled at gender is also statistically significant because of this value right here. So the F statistic, 15 is 15.15, less than 0.001, and N is 0.359 now. I must have messed up in terms of writing that because I think it actually is 378. So this should be 378. Okay. Of the variance in the number of minutes the father played with his children, what can be explained by the variance in the difference in interaction between the child's disability and their gender. The effect size of the interaction is large because it's 0.378. Since we have a statistically significant interaction effect, we need to investigate the nature of the interaction by doing a test of simple effects. So this here is our test of simple effects. Now just a second. I know why those were 359. We're talking, this paragraph is actually talking about this number. So let me just undo this, just sorry. Okay. So this number, because it's, pretty large, we're going to do a test of simple effects because of the significance. Okay. So here's our test of simple effects. So in table 3, it shows that there's a statistically significance in disabled at gender in the male group within the 3 disability groups. So here are the 3 disability groups, and only in the male group is there a significance. So what do we do about that? What we do is we do a pairized comparison, and if I take off my little paragraph signs, you'll see that the male group, I'm going to push this down a little, that the male group here, that the normal is significantly different than both the physically abused and the mentally abused. Okay? Actually, sorry. It means that the mentally disabled, because that's number 3, is different than the normal and physically abused. So this 3 indicates mentally disabled. This 2 up here indicates physically disabled. That's why we number these 1, 2, 3, so that we can have 2 and 3, which match the 2 bottom ones. But this means that the ones in this row, normal and physically disabled, are significantly different than the top one, which is mentally disabled. And then underneath, we put the significant level. So when we're examining the interaction effects in the plot below, we're looking at the mean the cell for the mean. So it suggests that the normal and the physically disabled male children get significantly more playing time with their fathers than the normal female. And the physically disabled females, so it is the opposite effect of the mentally disabled. The female get more playing time with their fathers than the male mentally disabled children. So this is a visual display for down below of what's happening. But in table 3, it also shows that 3 of the disability groups have significance between the male and the female. So so you can see how it changes. So when we look back up at the gender at disabled, which is this here, you can see all 3 of them are significant. So let's go back and look at your assignment. Just let's share it. So you have all 3 are significant and have the same numbers as I do. And what we just talked about was the male group, which you also have the same numbers as I do. So now you just have to write about it. So, and then here we're almost to where we need to be. We need to add nothing because we only have 2 groups here, so we put 2 for female. And so with the pairwise comparison, we're indicating that these are significantly different. So we're saying that all 3 sets are different for male and female. So between the normal children, the female is different, significantly different than the male. For physically disabled, the female is significantly different than the male. And for the mentally challenged, the female is different than the male. But when we write about it, we want to make sure that we're doing it clearly. So let's look what you have written. The normal female child has significantly less playing time with their fathers than the normal male child. The physically disabled female had significantly less playing time with their fathers than the physically disabled. I think we want to put disabled in here. Physically disabled male child. However, when we come to the mentally challenged children, the results show something different. The mentally challenged female child had significantly less playing time with their fathers than the mentally challenged male child. So, and the reason that this one here is because the numbers flip-flop. The playing time for the males is a lot less than the playing time with the females. And this here represents that. So the plot shows that the fathers spend more time with the normal male children than they spend with the female normal children. It also shows that the fathers spend more time with the male children who are disabled than they do with the female children who are disabled. However, when it comes to the children who are mentally challenged, right? This plot shows that the picture changes. The fathers spend more time with the female mentally challenged children than they do with the male challenged children. So when we look this up with the simple test of, let's see, we want to say when we look this up with the test of simple effects, we can get rid of this. So the test of simple effects. Okay, so here's the chart that I was showing you on my side that had the same thing, saying that the mentally disabled male is significantly different than the normal and the physically disabled. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to fix up this chart. I'm going to just take out all the lines, and then I'm going to put the top and bottom, and then the headers. Okay, so now it looks just like mine did. And so then all we want to do down here then is indicate what this P is equal to. P is less than 0.05. Okay, so now this down here, we shouldn't need. This here is both of these charts. Well, let me split the screen, okay, so that I'm not having to go up and down. So this chart under these words here, this is number 9. Okay. So this is page 10 up on top. Okay. So up, and this here is page number 7 on the bottom. And so this one we shouldn't need. So I'm gonna just delete it. Okay. And this chart here is the same as this one that we've already fixed up. So we don't need this chart either. Okay. And then, so now let's look and see if the, I think that this chart down below, if we look up here, we have, I think we've talked about it. Yeah, right here. So these dots right here are explaining the chart down below right here. So the asterisks are all below 0.05. And when we're talking about it in here, we could actually stick in the actual marks, even though we don't have them in this chart. We have them up above right here in this chart, which you're going to fix this chart up so it looks nice, okay? But down below, when we're actually talking about it, it's nice to throw in the actual amounts. So let's go ahead and say for the normal children, it's less than 0.001. For the physically disabled, it's equal to 0.001. And for these ones, it's equal to, for the mentally challenged, it's equal to 0.007. I just like the real values if you have them. If you don't have them, it's all right, but because we have them, let's stick them in. Okay, so now you're just gonna, we can just take out this right here, because remember, we're gonna get rid of the error. We're gonna just get rid of the whole, actually we can't. You're gonna have to copy and paste this a little bit, and if you do it in Excel, you can highlight the whole chart and get rid of the merged cells. And if you need help with that, just let me know. But because you don't really need the top of this chart here, you could actually delete it. But I'll let you fix up these two charts like we talked about earlier. Okay, so let's go back and so you've talked about the pairwise for this, and you've also talked about the pairwise for this one. And so now the conclusion. So this study had 3 hypotheses which stated this: how much time a father spends with the child does not depend on the disability of the child or the gender. Number 2, there is no difference in the time spent with the child whether they are disabled or not. And then number 3, there's no interaction or effect between the time spent with the child and the gender of the child. This means that the effects of time spent with children has no relationship to gender or does not depend on gender. After carrying out the statistical tests as shown above, we can conclude the following regards to these hypotheses. Now, let's just let's think about this, okay? This one here is we're looking at the different either physically, mentally, or normal, physical, or mental. So this one here, how much time spent with a father on children does not depend on the disability of the child. So we just want to say the disability of the child. This one here, S1 and S2, remember above, is the male-female. So here we would say there's no difference in time spent with the child, whether they are male or female, because the S1 and S2 are talking about male and female. And then this last one, there's no interaction effect between the time spent with the children and the gender of the child. This means that the time spent with the children has no relationship to gender or their disability, right? So if there's no interaction effects, these two things should not be a factor. So basically, for your conclusion, what you want to do is you want to restate the information up here, kind of just in a nutshell. And the stuff that you said right here actually is looking like a conclusion. It also shows that the father spends more time. No. However, it comes to, okay. So basically, you just want to kind of summarize this information here and the information up here, just in a nutshell. So basically, we can just say that the male children get less playing time if they're mentally challenged, or significantly less time if they're mentally challenged than the female, and that in all cases were significant for the physically, mentally, and normal children, depending on their gender, something like that. But you're basically reiterating what we've just said up here and what we've said down here for your conclusion. Want to look at my conclusion? Let's look. Let's see if I even have a conclusion. When I was doing these, I was not very good at writing conclusions. So let's see if I have a conclusion. So we can conclude that normal and physically disabled male children spend statistically more time getting played with by their fathers than normal and physically disabled female children. We can also conclude that mentally disabled female children had spent statistically more time getting played with by their fathers than mentally disabled children, male children. This illustration below. So you can see how that actually looks. Okay, so that was my conclusion. So I'm going to stop recording for this one because otherwise the file gets too big. But I hope that was helpful.